Yeah. All right, ladies. So today we are talking about supplements. All of the information is inside your guide, but here's the important thing you need to know about supplements. Two really, really important things. One, you're always warned about supplements to a great extent. Even when a doctor recommends them to you, he'll say, don't take them for too long, or we have a fear of like, you should only take them for a little bit, couple months, and then stop. And then the other belief is that as long as you're taking a supplement, that's going to solve all your problems. You don't have to do anything else. So here's why both of those are not, here's where the misinformation is around both of those points. One, when they tell you to don't take supplements for too long, or like take them for a little bit and then take a break, or give your body a break, or they're not good for your liver, that's not because the actual vitamin or mineral, or if it's a combination of vitamins and minerals, it's not because they're the problem. The problem is the quality of the vitamin or the mineral, like where it's derived from. And then what else is added to the supplement? So 99.9% of every single supplement that all of us use or have easy access to, whether that's here or abroad, from pharmacies, from drugstores, anywhere, wherever you go when you travel, maybe you go to Boots, maybe you go to CVS, maybe you go to Shoppers Drug Mart, like wherever you go abroad and buy your supplements, all of those are super, super cheap. And you know that they're cheap because they don't, you'll realize how cheap they are when you compare them to the ones that are high quality. But they're very cheap because the minerals and vitamins that they use are synthetically derived, which is not necessarily a problem, but there's different qualities of synthetically derived. And then on top of that, to make them even cheaper, the pill or the capsule that you're taking is only partially filled with the vitamin or the mineral that you need. The rest of it is filled with chemicals and additives and fillers. So you're going to see like starch, you're going to see like potato starch, you're going to see things like magnesium stearate, you're going to see things like titanium dioxide. Those are all toxins, but they're created as fillers. So those are the reasons why you shouldn't, I would say you shouldn't take these vitamins at all, not just take them for a little bit and take a break. Don't take them at all. Full of toxins and chemicals. The other myth about supplements is as long as I'm taking a supplement, well, that's going to work for my health. That's going to help my energy, or that's going to help my joints, or that's going to help whatever issue it is you're taking a supplement for. But by definition, if you look up the word supplement, it's something that goes alongside something else. So there's no point in taking any supplements if you haven't first worked on your food foundation, which is what we've done. And this is why we're moving on to supplements now. So don't be under the misconception, or if anybody around you wants to talk about supplements, it's not about, supplements they're not a magic pill. They're not going to fix you. We always look at what are you eating, drinking, and putting on your skin first. How are you dealing with your emotions? How are you dealing with stress? How are you dealing with the way your body processes emotion? And then we look at adding in supplements to sort of help us fill in the gaps, because unfortunately, because of modern day agriculture, even if you're eating the highest quality foods, and even if you're eating only organic fruits and vegetables and grass-fed, hormone-free animal protein, the way that modern agriculture, again, all over the world, not just in Egypt, has depleted our soil means that our food already comes to us deplete in the vitamins and minerals that it's supposed to have, because that's where the vitamins and minerals come from. So when they grow, fruits and vegetables, or they grow the grass that the animals eat, the soil is the source of vitamins and minerals. It grows into the plant, and then you eat the plant, or the animal eats the plant and you get it from the animal. We don't have enough anymore. It just doesn't exist anymore. So in order for us to replenish, there are, I would say, a handful of vitamins and minerals that are so key to our everyday functioning that it is ideal to supplement with those. And then to make sure when you do supplement, you supplement with high quality. And all of this is in your guide. So for women, I always recommend magnesium, vitamin C, zinc, B12, selenium, vitamin D. Those are the most important ones, and those are the ones we see the biggest deficiencies in, whether it's depletion from the soil, so you're not getting it from food, whether like vitamin D, you're not getting enough sunlight. Vitamin D is sort of like a hormone. It's really, really, really important. We start with those. I don't recommend these multivitamins where you just sort of get a mix of everything in there. You need a higher dose of very specific vitamins and minerals versus getting a laundry list of like 20 different vitamins and minerals that you might not need all of them, and they might not be at the right the right ratio. Plus, typically these ones that are like 50 different vitamins and minerals are, again, filled with all the fillers and everything. So the same way that you went yesterday and checked your beauty products and your hair products and all of that for the ingredients, I want you to go check your supplements today, whatever it is that you're already taking, and look out for those ingredients, for fillers, for additives, for food coloring, right? And share them with me if you're not sure. And then I've given you a list of, for the most part, they are international brands, so not easy to get in Cairo. So if you ever have a chance or you have the opportunity or know somebody who's traveling, this is worth it to ask them to bring it back for you. If not, and your only option is to search within Cairo, then do your search and come and show me what you found. And at least we can narrow it down to the ones that have the least amount of toxic additives and fillers. All right. Anybody have a question for me? Nuran, go ahead.
What about this collagen powder that everyone's on the internet is talking about?
What do you think?
I'm not sure. I haven't checked the ingredients, but everyone says it makes their face glow so much.
Right. I mean, everybody says it's going to make, because your skin, right under your skin is collagen, right? But collagen is the ones that the collagen powders that you're going to find, they're derived from animals. So you have to keep in mind, again, look at the list of ingredients, and then look at, you're going to have to sort of weigh it out against all the other, so it's going to have hormones in it. You're going to have to weigh it out against the other animal products that you are consuming. And then now that you know that there's a root cause to everything, like what causes collagen to break down. So it's not about just refilling collagen with collagen. It's not collagen that rebuilds collagen, right? In the skin, for the skin, it's certain minerals and vitamins and enzymes, particularly in fruits and vegetables, that make sure that collagen doesn't break down to start with, make sure that collagen stays, there's a natural decline that happens as we get older, but collagen also breaks down as a result of seed oils. So sunflower oil, corn oil, all of those, all of those, they cause a breakdown. They cause an inflammation that causes collagen to break down. All the processed sugars, so the bread, the pasta, the dairies, all of these have sugar that also cause collagen to break down. So the same way that we're supplementing with certain vitamins and minerals because we're not getting enough from our food, yes, you could supplement with collagen, but make sure it's high grade, make sure you know exactly what's in it, and then don't just depend on it. Like, understand how collagen breaks down so that you're creating a foundation to support collagen, and then you're going to fill in the gaps with the collagen powder. But I just want you all to get out of this like a supplement is going to solve the problem. No, supplements and pills and medications don't solve problems. You have to get to the root cause of the problem. And then once you've established and created a foundation, it needs a bit of help, it needs a little bit of support, fine. But always understand your root cause.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? I think there's a question here. Rania, can you repeat what supplements you should bring from? Rania, you have a list in your guide. So ideally what you want to get from abroad, and that includes some of the things I'm going to talk about tomorrow also. So like the superfoods and things. So you want to get magnesium, you want to get vitamin C, B12, selenium, vitamin D, zinc. Did I say zinc? Those are the main ones that you want to get from the companies that I've listed in the guide. So go look through those, see the one that, you know, fits your budget or is the easiest for whoever it is that's going to bring it back for you. Choose from those companies, those supplements, but it's in there for you. Anybody else have a question? This is pretty straightforward.
Hi, Dana.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry, my voice, I have symptoms of corona, so I'm sorry that the voice is not very clear. I just joined, thank you. I just joined and heard that you're talking about supplements.
Yes.
So are they in the guide that I can refer to?
Yes.
Okay, and when can be taken in the morning, after breakfast, before breakfast? Are they all in the guide as well?
It's all in the guide. Ideally, the best time to take them would be right after your smoothie. So finish drinking your smoothie, take them all at once. There's no danger in taking them all at once. These are vitamins and minerals that are anyway, they're naturally occurring in your food. And so this is another thing that people worry about. Like, should I be taking 6 different supplements at the same time? When you think about it, when you drink your smoothie or when you're eating a salad, you're getting vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin B, vitamin, you know, magnesium, potassium, like you're getting everything in one serving. So our bodies are created to handle, like that's just how they function, all of these vitamins and minerals coming in at the same time. So don't worry about that. Take them all in one shot in the morning, be done with it so that you don't forget the rest of the day. The only thing I might say, take in the evening, and you're going to have to try this out and see, is the magnesium, because the magnesium is a relaxation mineral. So it might make you too relaxed for your day, like if you have to go to work. So, and if you have trouble sleeping, then I definitely recommend you take the magnesium at least an hour or 2 before bedtime to help you with a deeper sleep.
Okay, and do we take them now? Remember, I told you that I stopped at day 12 because of my symptoms and the travel plan, but I'll continue as agreed. So shall I take them from now, or I finish the program first and then I start taking them?
If all of you have gone through a 9-day cycle, then go ahead and start the supplements. If you're still completing your first 9-day cycle, then take the supplements out.
Okay, no, I've done them, so I'll take them as well. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anybody else with a question? None here. Okay. All right, Amira, is that you again?
Yes, type. After finishing the program, are we continuing on the, I know that there are 3 options, whether to go for the hybrid or continue, but are we, if for example, we decided to go the hybrid, I think is the mix between clean eating and toxins. So celery juice will continue with us?
Yes. Celery juice is on all 3 plants. The morning routine stays the same, all 3 plants. It doesn't change. What shifts is the 9-day detox is super deep, just vegan, you know, just fruits and vegetables. A hybrid, we're going to add in some potatoes. Clean eating, you can add in some protein. So they're all detoxing on some level, but what the difference is how fast and how deep the detox is, but they all have the same morning routine that doesn't change.
Okay, as long as they are programs, but I'm talking about life, yeah, and continuing.
That's how you continue. Yeah, that's how you continue. So at no point, at no point are we going to bring in bread and cheese and dairy and corn and like, no, that's it. Like, these are inflammatory foods. They're the reason your body has broken down. So these stay out. So as long as you're choosing some combination of the 9 days or the hybrid or the clean eating, this is your lifestyle.
All right, okay. So can you kindly give us some alternatives for the celery because of the ease of preparing it? And
if you find celery, you keep going with your celery. The only reason you would substitute and not use celery is if you can't find it. And if you're in Egypt, most of you are, we do go through seasons where either we can't find it at all or the quality is just awful. If you're living abroad, typically you don't have this issue. The quality stays the same throughout the whole year. So the only reason you would stop taking celery is if you literally can't find it, or if it's so big, it can become really, really bitter. It's unbearable. In that case, and you have this also in your guide, Amira, in that case, you would use fresh cucumber juice, or there's a ginger water recipe that you can use.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Marianne, go ahead.
Hi, I just went through shock when you said no more cheese, no more bread.
Hang
my
on,
heart sank.
hang on. Because who else? Rania, you said, what? Are you guys actually shocked? I mean, are you shocked? What have I been saying since day one, right? I'm not saying
No, but the reality,
ever, right? Like
ever?
no, I'm not saying you're never, ever. I'm saying they're not part of your regular day in, day out anymore. No, these are like the things that happen maybe once a month, you know, maybe
Once
like
a month.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you want to keep, I mean, look, it's up to you. I can't make you do anything.
Yes, of course.
But
Of
if
course.
you want to heal, right? If you want to continue to heal, and if you have started to feel better and started to reverse symptoms, and you want to keep that, okay? I mean, if you have a condition, if you have a diagnosed condition, if you have autoimmune, if you have a thyroid condition, MS, you know, endometriosis, like arthritis, any of that, absolutely not. You will not heal. The only way that I have seen autoimmune completely reverse and completely go medication free and as if you have had nothing is to completely just keep these foods and keep them out, and only after your symptoms have completely reversed,
Yeah, I've
and
heard the
only
same.
right, and only after you're off your medications and your body's, and this won't happen if you have an autoimmune, this will take at least 6 months, maybe a year. Then you can say, right, let me have a piece of bread or a piece of cheese and let me see what's going to happen. Your body's going to be strong enough to deal with it. So that's if you have a diagnosed condition, diabetes, autoimmune, any of that, and you're really serious about healing. Of course, you might be, you know what? I'm kind of okay with being halfway healed. And that's up to you too. You always have that choice. But to truly heal, be fully healed, have a life where you're not being sort of held back physically because your body's not okay, that's what it's going to require. They're both hard choices. I'm not saying it's easy. They're both hard choices, like, right? Choosing to wake up every day and have a condition, or even if you don't have a condition, you just have symptoms, that's really hard to live with every single day. And choosing to say, right, I'm going to heal and I'm choosing not to have these foods is hard. But at the end of the day, it's liberating because you're going to be disease-free and symptom-free. So at no point here am I saying this is easy. So you have to weigh it out. If you're somebody who doesn't have a disease, doesn't have a condition, and maybe for you it's just a matter of energy, lack of energy, insomnia, maybe headaches, maybe it's a weight thing. Let's just say that, once a month if you have bread and cheese, or once a month if you have a pizza, it's not going to affect you like somebody who has a disease. I mean, that's just the way it is, unfortunately, right? But it's all in the mindset. Like, how have these foods served you in the past?
Oh my goodness.
How have they served you? Like, what was the benefit of these foods in the past? And most of you are going to find that zero benefit besides, a little bit of social pleasure, right?
And the emotional.
And if you're an emotional eater, but even if you're an emotional eater, did it fix it long term?
There's pleasure in things. Yeah, I hear you, but there is pleasure in eating these foods. I wanted to ask, I totally hear you. I just wanted to cry for a hot second. Is there any particular breads? Like I think my brother was telling me sourdough bread is probably the healthiest. Is there any, like, if we were to have this, I was thinking like maybe once a week, or okay, you're saying once a month, to help us cheat in a more healthier way, like when it comes to cheese or when it comes to bread, or
okay, so I'm gonna catch your words right there. Remove the word cheat, right? You're not committing a
Okay.
sin here. You're not committing a crime by having a piece of bread, right? Or having a piece of
Okay.
cheese.
Okay. Thank you for correcting me.
You're just gonna
Yeah,
have
thank
a
you
piece
for
of
correcting.
cheese, or you're gonna have a piece of bread. Like this isn't like a
Okay.
we're not passing judgment on your character here, like you're cheating and you're sinning. No. So you're just gonna go and have it, whatever it is you want to have. Like this morning, I went out for coffee with my husband, and I was like, I'm gonna have a piece of banana bread today. Like that. Like that. There's no guilt, there's no shame, there's no fear. I'm not cheating. I'm like, it's just a choice. I'm gonna have banana bread today. Full of gluten, full of sugar, full of everything. But I know, I've done this long enough where there's, thank God, I don't have the diseases anymore. I don't have the conditions. I know what's going to happen to my body when and if I choose to have these foods. So you're just going to choose to have them. That's it. And you're going to enjoy it. But to answer your question about sourdough is a better version for sure. It's a higher quality than regular commercial bread because it uses the ancient technique of making bread, but it's still wheat. It's still gluten. It's still going to turn into sugar into your body. So it's not, if you were to choose a bread every once in a while and not a gluten-free one, that would be the one to choose. But don't like convince yourself that it's healthy.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And is there any other foods or like cheese per se?
I would definitely say do not eat the fake cheese, like the soy-based cheese.
Those
Do
are
not,
terrible too.
like, yeah. If you want to have dairy cheese, right, there are definitely grades of that also. So like the really highly processed ones, like the Kraft, like single slice cheese, that's horribly processed. Don't eat that. You want to get a high quality like French cheese or something like that.
Yeah.
And more sort of the more like stinky it is, the more raw it is, the better. So that means it's the least processed. So one of the least processed cheese is like the brie. I think it's brie. I don't like cheese. So that's one of the higher quality cheeses to have. Parmesan cheese, believe it or not, is one of the higher quality cheeses to have. Goat cheese. So let's say you were to choose goat cheese versus cow milk cheese. Goat cheese, goat milk is closer to human milk than cow's milk. So at least your body will have a little bit of an easier time digesting it than it would cow's milk.
Okay. So I'm just trying to reflect on kind of going forward and reintroducing certain foods. And so my diet relatively was healthy. But I did have porridge every morning and I loved it. And so you're saying that, which is shocking because everything I've heard was porridge is the best breakfast you can have. And so you're saying it's not because it's what did you say? It's inflammatory as well?
It's a grain. And almost all grains are inflammatory, and then it's difficult for your liver to process in the morning grains, fats, and proteins.
Well, even if it's like steel cut or like Bob Mills, like the higher end ones, those are still not
steel cut is sort of like your sourdough version of bread, right? Steel cut is the better version of oats. So yeah, if you're going to have oats, then make sure they're steel cut, not the processed ones. But again, wait later in the day to have them if you want to have them. So maybe have it as a lunch maybe one day, but not first thing in the morning for breakfast.
Interesting.
And then also steam with all of this, right? Like I know, like you're not going to have cheese and all of these things and bread on a regular basis, but maybe you feel like you want to bring in porridge on a more regular basis. That would only depend on how it makes you feel, right? And if your weight starts to creep up again, because it is a grain, it's not known for necessarily it doesn't promote healing and not necessarily going to promote weight loss either. So, and then there's quantities with that. Most people, when it comes to grains, don't realize that the recommended portion for a grain is half a cup. That's your portion. Cooked.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So
half a cup cooked.
Yes. Half a cup. So that's not a lot, but most people are having like a cup. And a half of like porridge a day, or of cereal, or of rice or beans or whatever it is. So start with the right portion at least, all right? And
Fair enough.
on the day you reintroduce it, make sure you're not reintroducing anything else that's new. I would also not consume animal protein on the day that you're having it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And then as far as, my understanding was beans is like the healthiest food you can have, and fool madames is everything about it is very healthy, but you're saying no, it's
No.
also inflammatory, huh?
It's also inflammatory. Fool specifically, out of all the beans and legumes that you could choose, is one of the hardest for your body to break down. Lentils are the gentlest on the body. Fool is the hardest, and everything else sort of falls in between. Again, we're talking about portions. So you might have a portion like this much of fool, and that would be okay. But nobody eats this much fool, right? Nobody eats this much, right? Like nobody does. So sometimes we say the poison is in the portion. So
Okay.
so it is about, experimenting. So if something that's you like to have that, or if it's something during a fast, right? Like I like my mother is Coptic. I know that there's times when they can't eat except lentils and
Yeah,
beans.
that's I'm Coptic as well, and that's all they
Right.
do is food.
So during the fast, but here's the thing during the fast, right? Like I see my mom when she's fasting, it's like fried eggplant and like everything fried, and tamia and fool and like everything. I'm like, and then she's like this and dying. I'm like, well, Mom, how about you fast with vegetables? Like, how about let's
That's
do
right.
vegetables instead of everything fried and all the beans, and then you say my kowloon and I'm dying. So there is a way to do it. And the thing is just it's quantities. Always start with quantities. And then always, if you're bringing in the fruits and vegetables, we call that crowding in. The more you have fruits and vegetables in general, the more you crowd out the negative effects of anything else that might be happening in your body. So
Okay,
always
okay.
the bulk, like if you think of your
Yeah.
plate, okay, whether you're eating vegetarian or not, think of your plate, 3/4 of that needs to be vegetables at your meal,
Okay.
whether cooked or salad, and just a little bit, whether it's the animal protein or the beans
That's
or the
helpful.
lentils or whatever it is. Yeah.
That's helpful. So we typically eat kidney beans.
Yep.
Kidney beans, I think, are quite healthy. Is that correct or no?
They're all the same, right? They're all, and then kidney beans,
Oh,
are you buying
really?
them? Are you buying them canned, or that's the other thing?
Yeah,
Are you getting
fresh.
fresh?
Yeah, the beans, even the pinto. So when I say full, actually, we stopped getting the cans quite some time ago, and we get the pinto bean.
Yeah.
So we get the pinto bean, and for that we do the slow cooker,
Okay.
to cook them overnight, and for the and then we soak them. We soak them before, actually 3 days.
Yeah, I was gonna say about the soaking. So the soaking is key for any
Yeah.
of these lentils, food, any of these. It needs to be minimum of 24 hours, and then
Yeah.
you need to soak it with 2 tablespoons of either apple cider vinegar or lemon juice.
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
Because
We've done
helps-
it, we do it 3 days and we keep emptying the water. I think you're saying 24 is
24
enough.
minimum. Put in the apple cider, and the lemon juice speeds it up a bit, and it helps the beans release the phytic
right.
acid. I mean, this is the problem with the beans also, right? Is they all contain
Yes.
something called phytic acid, which
Mhm.
it's an anti-nutrient. So what happens when you eat it,
Oh.
is it blocks your body's ability to absorb nutrients from other foods.
Oh, no.
Okay, so you want to, as much as possible, release all of that phytic acid from the beans before you eat it. So soak it with lemon juice or apple cider vinegar, rinse a lot the next day before cooking. Small portion, and see how your body reacts to that.
Okay, and then the other thing that we like to, which we've introduced, which you've also said is not good for you, is tofu. So you're anti-tofu, right?
Soy.
No.
It's an endocrine disruptor. So it doesn't just get the hormones, it gets to the source of the hormones. So the soy, like if you absolutely don't want to eat meat, absolutely, and you want to have something that is kind of like a substitute, I suppose tofu would be the best one, or any kind of fermented soy would be the next thing, like tempeh. So like those are the better options, right?
Okay.
Miso, if you want miso, like miso soup, that would be the
Love
better
miso.
versions of soy. But like soy milk and just like soy sauce and things like that, no.
Oh, really? Even soy sauce, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. It's terrible when you think you're substituting. Like I've given up. I went vegan, raw vegan for many months, but then we started introducing, soy, the tofu, or we started introducing the plant-based meats, and then you discover that is also crap too, and it's just so frustrating.
Yeah. You want, if you want to have what's called plant-based meat, like not the Beyond Meat, Beyond, like all of that, no. You can make your own, right? You can make your own like lentil burger, like a lentil patty, right? You can,
Oh, okay.
yeah, things like that. Marianne, you don't live here, do you? No.
No, I'm living in Kuwait.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what you, I mean, and for those of you in Egypt, we have like, there's a great company called Cashew. Some of you may heard of it. Wonderful young lady who's making vegan products. She makes them the bulk. I don't think I've seen a lot of her things have any soy in them. So she'll make like a vegan burger that's just like lentil flour and maybe some chickpea flour and like spices.
Okay.
So
Okay.
something like that, right? So
And that's okay. Lentil is better than soy, is what you're saying.
oh, of course.
Okay.
She makes ice cream, for example. She makes vegan ice cream, and she makes it from cashew cream, or she makes it from, coconut milk and nuts. She makes a vegan cheese that is a nut cheese. So she makes cheese made out of also cashew cream. Like, I don't know how she does it. Like, the base of it is nuts. There's no soy anywhere. So if you can find products like that,
Okay, that's
when you want to substitute, then 100%. You just don't want things that are created in a lab. And you'll know it's created in a lab when you look at the list of ingredients and you're like, I don't have any of these ingredients in my kitchen.
Got it.
That's how you know it's created in the lab. If you look at something and it's like, oh, well, okay, I don't have cashew cream at home, but I could have cashews and I could turn it into cashew cream, right? Or coconut milk, or like things that you recognize that you could potentially have in your kitchen, then that's something that you could eat. But things that have soy and citric acid and chemicals you can't pronounce, and it's like 17 ingredients for a fake lab-made burger patty, or, fake vegan cheese, no.
May I humbly ask you if it's okay? How often do you have poultry or meat? I'm just curious.
Oh, no, I have some version of that 4 or 5 days a week.
Oh, really? That frequent?
Fish mostly, red meat, because I told you guys it gives me night sweats, like just like clockwork. Like the day I eat red meat, I know that night I'm going to have a night sweat. So I avoid it because of that. I don't love chicken. Like, it's not my favorite thing. When I go out, usually on the weekend, that's what I'll have. Like, I'll have shish taouk on the weekends. We go out to Lebanese, and that's what I'll have. Or usually we go out for Lebanese, we go out for Indian. So both places I'm having some kind of chicken, like chicken tikka or shish taouk. That's my chicken. Otherwise, at home, I'm eating fish, and maybe like if we're having a steak, I'll join in and have the steak. I've gone to the point where I really follow like sort of what my body needs. So I can easily go for 2 weeks, 3 weeks without having any animal protein. My body just doesn't want it that week or those 2 weeks. And then the 2 weeks after that, I'm having fish, chicken on the weekends. Are you
having farm-free fish? Because most fish is farmed.
I try to get Gourmet has a brand that it's called cart, and they have a few types of fish that are wild, according to them. Like, I'm just trusting them, right? But I will also have occasionally salmon. There's none of the salmon we get in Egypt is wild.
Farmed,
but again, you're when I say you have to find that balance for yourself, right? So like, I don't eat bread or cheese or any of that on a regular basis, like zero. Like months and months and months and months will go by, and maybe if I'm invited somewhere and there's like a little cheese platter, I'll have a bit of cheese. But so when I have like the not wild salmon, that's okay, because everything else that's coming into my body is super clean. But yeah, to answer your question, I eat protein. I guess if you're to look at it over the course of a month, if you give or take a week or 10 days that I don't. So most of the time I am, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Amira, is that you with another question? Or you just forgot your hand up? Hang on, I'm going to look at these questions here. Rania, how long we should take the supplements? Always. It's like the supplements are they're providing you with continuous vitamins and minerals. So it's sort of like saying, how long should I keep eating healthy foods? Always. Nuran, is it okay to have a skin breakout? Hang on.
Okay.
Is it okay to have a skin breakout on day 14? Yes. My face was glowing and okay, but day 14, I started having a breakout. Yes, this happens. You remember the detox symptoms, they can flare up at the beginning and then die down, and then you might not feel anything for another month, and then you might have another flare up. This is just part of the healing process, all normal. Unless, of course, Nuran, you can link it to something different that you ate on the day before. If you added something different, we would want to retry that and see if that is a trigger. Nuran, also yesterday I felt super nauseous every time I smelled anything green, which was so weird. So I basically had fruits all day, but I noticed that my brain was very foggy and I kept forgetting everything normal. Okay, so are you ovulating or PMSing? Because those are the times when we're going to see a shift in hormones, and that might affect your appetite. It might affect the way you taste things. It might affect mood and concentration. So are you tracking that? Also, I figured out why you said you shouldn't juice the leaves. Yeah, super bitter. Nuran, also, why are rice and wheat bad for us if they're plants? So wheat is originally a plant from 10,000 years ago, but the wheat that we're consuming today is a seed, is a crop that is not a natural plant. It is a genetically modified crop. It's a GMO. That's why another reason why we don't eat soy and corn, because those are all genetically modified crops. And what that means is the current version of the wheat seed is created in a lab. It's not the original wheat seed from 10,000 years ago. Rice is a grain. Yes, even though it is a plant, it is a grain, like beans, like fool, like other legumes. They're all plants, but not every plant was created for us to eat necessarily. So we've chosen to eat certain things that are not necessarily the best things for us to eat. And especially with rice, especially in Egypt, everybody eats the white rice, which is basically, it's just starch. So it just turns into sugar. So if you're going to eat rice, then at least choose the brown rice, at least choose the rice that still has, you know, the hull on it, because that is less starchy than white rice. Again, with rice, it's the portions. If you eat half a cup, that might not be a big deal, but who eats half a cup of rice, right? People eat rice. Nuran, if I want to eat a burger one day, is it going to be okay if I introduce the bread, the meat, the cheese, and all the sauces all at once? Yes, I eat burgers every once in a while. You're going to feel heavy. You're going to feel like, oh my God, what did I do to myself? But it's a burger. Like, how else are you going to eat a burger? Some things you just have to eat as they are. When you eat out, do you ask that your food isn't cooked without seed oil? No, I did at the beginning, and I don't bother with that anymore, because there's no way it's not going to be cooked without seed oil. It is always cooked with seed oil, and I don't trust, even if I tell them, that they're going to follow my instructions. So some things like the burger, you just go enjoy it, be done with it, and go home and drink your juice and wake up the next day and keep doing what you need to do. Amira, were you about to ask another question? Nope. Angie, go ahead.
Hello, Dana. Good morning.
Morning.
Or good afternoon. I wanted to ask you about corn you just mentioned, because actually my son, he likes corn, and we get corn and we boil it and he eats it like this. So
Yeah.
should we omit corn like he's not allowed to eat corn? It's better not to eat it?
Better not to eat it. And how old is he? I mean, I would ask him when he eats corn and then he goes to the bathroom, ask him if he ever sees corn, like whole corn kernels in his poop. It's not
He's
easily.
10.
Yeah, ask
Yeah.
him. It's not easily digested, and that's one of the signs that it's not, it is a genetically modified crop, not something that's really meant for our consumption.
Yes, my concern now is actually the kids, because I have a 10 and 5-year-old, and I think about all what we're saying and all the food they're consuming, and it's terrible. Like when I think of each and everything, like the breads, the sandwiches and lunch boxes and so on, and I'm trying to do substitutes, but how would I do substitute for all those stuff like bread, like rice? It's like
Yeah.
staples in their diets, like every day, you know.
What I would recommend is anything that they're going to eat outside the house, just leave it. Don't even bother with it, right? So if that's a lunch box, if that's them going out with their friends, if that's a birthday party, if that's your family's, like just leave it. Don't even think about it. Start by focusing on what are they eating at home, right? So what are the main meals they're having at home, and usually it's breakfast and then the main family meal, and choose one that you want to start to, you know, up level the quality of the ingredients, just one. You don't want to go and make like massive sweeps and massive changes all at once. And start by, again, adding things in versus taking things out. So if in the morning,
Yes, actually, they do eat lots of fruits and salads and so on. But yeah, I tried this with them as much. We're still a healthy household, I would say.
Yeah.
But still, there's a lot of stuff that I see now that they're eating that they're not supposed to be eating. And I think on the long run, and also you talked about sweats on one of your posts, and I noticed that my 10-year-old, he does sweat at night, you know, like for his age, and I feel this is not really right or natural.
Yeah.
So that's why also it kept me thinking about it.
Yeah. So a few things, general sort of instructions. If you're a family that all of you, any of you are families where there, and a lot of families do this, where you have a cupboard or you have a drawer in your kitchen in your house where you keep snacks, chips, cookies, cakes, chocolate, candy, anything like that. That can go today. No household needs that cupboard, right? Like the one that has.
Of course we have it, but they eat it with minimal quantities, but we do have it. Yes, actually.
That can go. This is not essential. Like, right? Like this goes, keep the corn, but get rid of this. Okay. Get rid of that. That's a start. No, that's not those aren't staples. Nobody needs to have those in their home. Next thing is, don't worry about what they're eating outside of the house. Keep their lunch boxes as is, as much as you can. Maybe add some fruits, add some chopped vegetables. Maybe add.
Do that already.
Yeah, if they're happy with that, then do that. I would say if you're giving them canned juices, so canned juices or canned milk or anything like that.
No, not at all. No.
Yeah. Okay. So that
we just do lemon with honey at home, so that's their juice at home.
Okay.
We don't drink that, and they know what's healthy, what's not healthy. No sodas, no stuff like that. No.
Perfect. When it comes to the main meal, if they're eating a lot of rice, you might want to start to substitute that with potatoes, like roasted potato. That's the easiest, quickest, most familiar. Right? Like it's not going to be like it's a potato, like, you know, yay, we get to have.
They like it.
They love potatoes, and potatoes are great because they're so healing. There's so many incredible vitamins and minerals in them. Like you just give your kids as many potatoes as they want and don't think about it. So that could be an easy substitute. The rest of it, if you're eating meat, if you're eating chicken, you know, if you're eating the regular traditional Egyptian stewed vegetables, like or molokhia, like those are fantastic. But what I would just do is then, if really, I think it's the issue is in most Egyptian homes is the pasta and the rice, I believe. So
we eat pasta occasionally, but rice, what I try to do lately is the quantity, I make the quantity a little bit less and add more salads and proteins instead of having a lot of rice, you know?
Yeah. And then the way to do the shift away from that is to give them the potatoes or sweet potatoes, you know, or a mix. You can also start to, if it's white rice, you can start to add some brown rice into it. So, instead of making a pot full of just white rice, sort of put like, let's say you make a cup of rice a day, make 3/4 of the cup white rice and throw in 1/4 of a cup of brown rice. So there's a little bit And then like after a month, make half a cup
Okay.
white and half a cup brown, right? So you're slowly increasing and balancing out the white with the brown. Then maybe 3 months down the line, do like a fourth of a cup white and 3/4 of a cup brown. So you're sort of altering their taste bud very, very gradually without them sort of having a rebellion.
Okay, I will try that definitely. Yes.
Okay. And definitely,
Okay,
you know,
thank you.
like offer your smoothies, offer, you know, in winter, like
Yeah,
it's a
I
really
tried
great time to offer like soups, like veggies. Just like, you know, especially that they're really young, like the younger they are, the easier, right? Because you are really, at least at home anyway, 100% in control of what they eat at home. So if you can start to bring these things in and very, very gradually phase the other things out, so much easier, like when they're 10 and 5 than when they're 15 and older.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much,
You're welcome. Let me see here.
Dana. Okay, I will try all that.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Amira, what about gluten-free bread and oat milk? Gluten-free bread is still a processed food. So all they've done with gluten-free bread, gluten-free cookies, gluten-free anything, is they've taken the gluten out. So there's no more, you're not getting the effects of gluten, okay? But what they've made it with is not necessarily any better for you. So typically it's going to be made with nut flours, potato starch, tapioca starch, maybe more sugar. So you have to be really wary of the ingredients. If there's something you're not sure about, show me. And even when it's a really high quality product, it is not a staple. So like bread is not a staple. It's not something you have to eat every single day. Therefore, when we remove it, it doesn't need a replacement. So it, again, would be something you'd only have every once in a while. And oat milk, almond milk, like all of these sort of either not grain milks or like seed milks, again, not absolute, like it doesn't have, just because you remove milk means you have to have oat milk or you have to have almond milk. And then you also have to be careful with these because all the commercial varieties, check the labels, they all have one or more of these. They either have carrageenan, which is an ingredient that is carcinogenic, means it can lead to cancer, or they have sugars, or they have seed oil. Like you're going to find oat milk made with sunflower oil, which is very, very strange. So you're going to be consuming the seed oil on top of it. If you want to have oat milk or almond milk or coconut milk, you can get them raw. So you can purchase them raw, like Glow smoothies. I know they make almond milk raw. I'm not sure about coconut or oat milk. So, or you can make it at home, but those would be the higher quality that you would be drinking. Marianne, what good stuff staples do you recommend for kids? Fruits, vegetables, animal protein. That's it. Every single fruit, every single vegetable, and protein. This is the building blocks. These are what every single human needs. Everything else is peripheral. Everything else is just not healing, not recommended, not a building block. Fruits, vegetables, animal protein. Our food is quite healthy and the kids can get frustrated as they want the good stuff. Well, you get to decide for them and you get to educate them. Like, what did you think was good stuff? And now what do you think is good stuff? So it's up to you as the parent to slowly re-educate, right? Like the process that you went through of like unlearning, learning, relearning, you do that with your kids. So if you want to, again, you want to start like replacing, for example, like if they eat cookies, bring in some gluten-free cookies. If they want to have chips, maybe you make the chips at home. Like there isn't a single brand of chips out there that I can tell you that I can recommend for your children. Like there's nothing. I can't tell you that there's any kind of junk out there that I can, like, with good conscience say, go ahead and feed your kids this. Doesn't mean they're not going to eat it. They're going to eat it. Like my teenage son, I turn a completely blind eye. He's 15 when he goes out with his friends. Like, I know it's like burgers and it's like junk and it's like every single junk that he can eat. But I know that at a certain point in his life, because I saw it happen with my teenage daughters, they outgrow it. So some things just to let them be. But as long as you're teaching them, like I turn a blind eye, but every once in a while I have to remind him, like, you know what this stuff does to you? And I just say everything. Remind them, and if they're really young, when my son, this 15-year-old, when he was 3, this is when I started juicing. And this is what I mean, like as moms, you're in control. When he was 3, his breakfast was a green smoothie and nothing else. And he loved it and he had no problem with it. It was only when he got older and he went to school and he started becoming conscious and of what other kids are eating. And it was like, wait a minute, nobody else has a green smoothie for breakfast. So then that's when I started having difficulty, controlling what he eats. But am I bringing junk at home? No. Am I bringing bread and cheese at home? No. Am I bringing chips and cookies and chocolate and stuff at home? No. So you want to be the one who's setting the example, right? And definition of the good stuff, you determine what that definition is, not their friends and not other families. So they might object to it. They might not agree with you at first, but you're the parents, ladies. Like sometimes we forget that we are the parents, not the other parents who are feeding their kids junk, and we feel pressured to feed our kids junk because all the other parents are feeding their kids junk. You're the parent. You get to set the standard in your home, and you get to set the definition of what good stuff is. And by setting the example and by talking to your kids a lot, really by you're the one, if you're eating all the good stuff all the time, they're going to learn from you. They're watching you the same way they learn good manners from you, the same way they learn how to speak politely to others from you. They're going to learn this from you also. So you decide what good stuff is and you teach them. Amira, you said it's preferable to eat 1 kilogram of veggies. What about fruits and protein? Yeah, you want at least the leafy greens, right? Like you want about 4 to 8 cups of the leafy greens a day, and then as much fruits as you want. When it comes to the greens and vegetables and fruits, as much as you want. Protein is where we look at portions. So we don't need that much protein. Everybody's overeating protein. Protein, you want to keep it to 1 portion a day, and that's it. And a portion is like the size of your palm. Angie, do you have another question or comment for me?
Sorry, Dana, just want to ask because so rice is definitely better than pasta.
Yes.
It's better. So pasta should be minimum, and then we try to see about rice.
Yeah, because pasta, like rice, like is still, even if it's the white one, which is a little bit processed, still is coming straight from the source. Pasta is made from wheat, so we know the issues with wheat, and then it's made in a factory, so it's a processed food. So there's nothing, there's like zero nutrition there, zero. Plus you get the negative side effects of turns into sugar and all the issues with gluten and all of that.
Yes, of course. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, ladies, any other questions for me? Tomorrow is our last teaching video. Like, I can't believe we've come to the end, nearly the end of the program. So tomorrow is going to be a double class, in case you missed it, because I'm traveling on Thursday. So instead of Thursday's class, tomorrow's class is going to be a double class. I'll talk about adaptogens, I'll talk about essential oils, superfoods, all of that I'm going to talk about tomorrow, and then obviously give you a lot of time to get all of your questions answered. And then we have our final celebration video. Again, it was supposed to be next Thursday. It's going to be on a Wednesday, but all of this you're going to get in your emails so that you don't forget. So since the last video, which is the celebration video, is not going to be it's not going to be a teaching video, and it's not going to be a Q&A. It's more of a reflection and celebration time. So come in tomorrow and for the next week in the group with all of your questions, as many questions as you have for me, to make sure you have it all cleared up before the group closes on December 9 to 11th. That's a Sunday. That'll be the day the group closes. So once the group closes, you're gonna, obviously you have access to all the emails that you got. I'm also going to give you a link which is all the videos that we've done. So since the group will close, you won't be able to see them on the group. You'll have a YouTube link where you can go back and watch the videos as many times as you need to. There is no December session of the detox, because in December I take off with my family. So if you want to join the January group, registration for that has already opened. But if you want to join, don't use the automated link. Message me, because you get to join the January group at the price that you paid this month. Or if you're somebody who joined in October, you get to keep that price that you joined in October if you want to join in January. So if you want to join in January, email me. I will send you a separate invoice, and get all your questions to me by tomorrow if you want to have them answered in person. Otherwise, keep your questions coming into the group over the next week. Celebration video next Wednesday. Group closes the Sunday after that. All right, ladies. Rasha, take it away. Last question.
Yeah, hi Dana. I won't take a lot of your time. Tomorrow I'm having people over at home. So because it's a 2-hour, would you suggest, when do you suggest I can just, disappear for like half an hour?
What
So
time
at
are
the
your
beginning-
guests coming?
At 11 a.m.
Okay, why don't you pop in at 12 really quick and
Okay.
listen to what I have to say, because I want you to hear what I say about the oils and the adaptogens. All right, don't miss that. And then if you have a question, I'll let you go first. So there's not a lot to say about adaptogens and essential oils. So let's say like 12:15, 12:20. If you have a question, you can have your question first.
Okay, perfect. And about the juicing day, because I'm doing the 9-day,
Okay.
I didn't like that juicing day so much because I hated
blended.
the apple cucumber.
You also blended, right? Not juiced.
Yes, I blended it and it was just mushy and ugh.
Any chance of you getting a juicer before you get to your next juicing day?
My mom has one. Maybe I'll just
Huge difference.
take hers. Yeah.
Huge difference, like a world of a difference between juiced and blended. Huge.
And did Glow have a green apple with cucumber, and they have kale and one of the milks. I can remove the kale in one of the milks. Would that be fine? And it would just be green apples and cucumber. That's okay? I can do that because that was fine.
Yeah, you can do that. Orange juice also for that day. And then you have your celery juice. Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome, Amira. Okay, ladies, see you here again, same time, same place tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.